What is up, guys? We're back with another video, Produce Perform. We're gonna talk about how to mix keyboards today in your worship song, in your live, specifically your live recorded worship song from a live performance from a church. This one was from a Christmas performance. It is the same song as the video I did on the BGVs, how to mix your BGVs. If you have not checked that out, check out that video. Very, very cool. Very, very easy to actually mix a lot of BGVs if you have that issue where I'm just overwhelmed with BGVs. So check that video out. And then also down below, I have the 5-part framework to creating professional sounding live recordings, live worship recordings. So pick that up, absolutely free. It takes you through each part that you need to do to create an awesome live recording. So, anyways, let's dive in. So this particular keyboard is it is a VST coming out of his laptop. He's using a MIDI controller, and I believe he used Addictive Keys. He's my friend Dustin. He is awesome, and I'm actually going to link to his channel down below. He produces like Christian synth pop music. Very, very cool. Very, very different from what this is. This is more of a gospel-y Christmas type song, but yeah, he makes awesome music. You guys should definitely go support him. Okay, so let's just give these keys a listen real quick. Okay, and then we'll listen to it in context with the song. So yeah, so you can hear them. It sounds good. The actual sound of the keyboard sounds really good. It's a phenomenal starting point. But here's the thing: you kind of lose it in the mix. Like, you can hear it and it's there. It's at a good level, but you're just like, where'd it go? So first things first is I do some EQ, and so we're gonna open up this SSL 4K. Very, very simple. I don't do like a massive ton of EQ. So first we're going to high pass to 100 hertz. I would not do this if it was a solo keyboard, but since it's in the mix, we don't need any of that low end. I will even sometimes go up to like 200 something hertz, depending on how thick the mid range is. But around 100 hertz for this song seemed right for me. So, and then we have a little bump at 3K 1.7. We have a little cut at looks like 370 hertz, and then that's pretty much it. So super simple. But here's the thing: is it's gonna make this keyboard poke out a little bit more. So let's just listen to this soloed. I'm gonna turn it off, and then turn it on. Off. Back on. Like, it's just a very gentle lift. Like, it didn't need much. A lot of keyboards usually don't need a lot. If you do have a dense mix, I would take a bell somewhere around, like, I think it's like around 5K. Let's give this a try. To get that part to stick out a little bit. But for this mix, I just don't really need it because there's already a lot going on, and so we just don't need it. So in this type of mix, for compression, what I would use is a 1176, and basically what this is going to do is make it sound a little bit more aggressive. It's going to kind of push it out into the mix a little bit more, and then I'll kind of show you what I would do differently if it wasn't a dense mix and it was kind of more like low key. I'll show you a different compression, a compressor that I would use. But yeah, so for this, we're just using the 1176, and we have basically a pretty fast attack and a pretty fast release, because that's just how the 1176 is built. So we're gonna put it in bypass here. Listen to it. Put it on. Off. So you can just feel it just lifts the whole keyboard. But not only does it do that, I don't know if you guys noticed, but it got warmer. Like the keyboard, it really brought up a lot of those low notes, so that it made the keyboard just sound more full, more grand, more just gave it a will to live. If you know what I'm saying. Okay, but if you guys aren't mixing something as big and big like this, so we're going to come back to the intro where he's not doing too much. I would actually use a LA2A because it just has a much softer compression. It get more mellow. It's going to cut some of those attacks off a little bit so that it's not so harsh and kind of in your face. It's a little bit more mellow. So I'm going to turn this on. So I'm going to bypass it here, and then we're going to play it. I'm going to turn it on. We're going to turn it off. Back on. And see, it's barely touching. And again, it just warms it up. Not as intense of a compressor, but it sounds good, sounds natural. But for this mix, we're going to use the 1176. And then I like to do a little bit of saturation. One of my favorites for this is actually a plugin called Vitamin. So what Vitamin does is it's like a multi-band sonic enhancer, whatever you want to call it. I think Waves calls it the Photoshop of sonic enhancement, which is kind of dumb, but I get what they're saying. Anyways, basically you have 5 bands here to do some sonic enhancement. I'm just doing kind of the mid-range here. And what this is going to do is it's really going to help it poke out of the mix. And the thing I love about the Vitamin is it's not very like harsh when it comes to saturation. It's very clean sounding, which I know is kind of the opposite of what saturation does, but you'll get what I'm saying whenever I put it in. So we're going to bypass it here. Okay, I'm going to put it in here. And so for me, what it does is it takes this VST from Addicted Keys and almost makes it sound like a grand piano. And it's just because I'm just pushing in some mid-range. And so it's like, you can see it, what it's adding here. This little purple line is like what the saturation is actually adding into that song. Very, very cool. Very, very subtle. But in my opinion, it creates this really natural sound from a digital piano, which is very, very cool. And then the last thing that I do often, now you guys can probably hear, there's already some reverb built into his keys patch, which is great. Nothing wrong with that. I want you to record the sound that you want to hear in your ears so it sounds good, sounds full, and then you perform better. So oftentimes if there's not, or if it's recorded dry, then what we can do is I like to add a reverb on the actual channel because it makes it feel like it's a part of the keyboard. It makes it feel like it was recorded in a big room, like a real grand piano would be. And so, I'm going to use H-Verb for this. And what I like to do is I like to, find something that just matches the song. Reverb is so subjective on what sounds good, what doesn't sound good. So for this, just close that. For this, I just chose this complex verb, and I'll just show you guys what it sounds like real quick. So you guys hear that tail, and here we'll go to a bigger part so you can hear it. I'll pause it so you guys can hear the tail. So, nice natural tail. So I like to pull this back to around 20 for the intro here. Just turn it off. And then back on. And so here's what I like to do is, like, this sounds really good here, but now let's go a little bit later in the song, and I'm not gonna like it as much when it's really busy right here. See, now whenever I take it off, you can hear like it really pops out, which is what you want in the mix. But if I turn it back on, you kind of lose it even by itself. So it gets really, really busy. So this is what I like to do. I actually like to have it on in this intro part. And here I can kind of show you where it's really just vocals, tracks, you know, and the keys here. See, it really matches that vibe super well. But the issue is that as it gets over here, right, we don't really like it as much anymore. So I like to find where the song really picks up, which looks like it's about around here. So about, well, maybe further back. So about around this spot is where I'm going to start to bring it back a little bit. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to make an automation for this. Sorry, I got to find the keys bus here. There we go. And inserts, and then we're going to go to H verb, and then we're going to go to dry wet. And so basically, as they start to build here, I'm going to gradually bring this down, like literally just like a slope. And this is what I like to do. You can get way more intricate with this, but this feels really natural to me. So you'll be able to see here, this dry wet knob here will start to come down as it goes further through the song, as it gets more intense. And of course you can do a little bit more creatively, however you guys want. But this is the idea behind it. Is that as the song gets more intense, the keys get a little bit drier, so they can poke out of the mix a little bit more because there's so much going on. It doesn't look like it's wanting to work. Why is it not working? It's on read. Well, that's an interesting bug. Anyways, you guys get what I'm doing. You would bring the dry wet gradually down, as the song goes on, or you can just drop it at some point and the mix will sound good. But that's a Studio One bug, I guess. Man, that's funny. We all got to find about that together. You get to watch me be confused. Really funny. Okay, anyways, hope you guys got a lot from this. Learned that Studio One has a bug that's not letting me do it. Or if you guys saw something what I was doing wrong, then tell me, because that was very confusing. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, and absolutely pick up the 5-part framework to making professional live worship recordings down below. Absolutely free, my gift to you. And then last but not least, you guys know how I like to end these videos. The world needs you. They need more Christian musicians, audio engineers, music producers, all of it. Like, they need all of it, because God has put a song in so many of our hearts, and it needs to be released. And this is the whole reason why I'm doing this channel, is that so we can release all this stuff together and just fill the earth with His glory through song, because it's just flowing through this. I mean, look at all these churches in your community, in my community, and everywhere. That's just there's so much flowing out of it. It's so good. So keep going. Like, keep what you're doing. Let me know if you guys need help. Drop a comment down below. Be like, hey, this is what I need help with, and I'll try to create some content on that. I would love to help you guys with anything production related to worship music, obviously. I mean, I can maybe help you with other things, but I don't know if it would be the best advice. Like, if you need to learn how to water ski, I don't know how to do that. So, anyways, love you guys. Bye.